Welcome to a dynamic and interactive overview of the Guyana Education Plan 2014-2018. Now, this recording is done in an open office, so please ignore the ambient noises, the passing motor car, and so on. Okay. Now, you may be new to this display, this type of display. It's called a dynamic mind map. In fact, it's called the brain of the Guyana Education Plan 2014-2018. What it does, it shows on one page, on one screen, the major components of the Guyana Education Plan. For example, it has some executive summary, appendices, endnotes. It's divided into 8 parts, part 1, 2, 3, and so on. Stakeholders and tables. So I'll walk you through each major component so that you can get a good idea, an overview, or what is sometimes called a helicopter view of the Guyana Education Plan, a big picture perspective of the education plan. This is important for high-level decision makers because they are faced with what is called information overload. We at Innovation Consultancy believe that you cannot manage a complex program using pen and paper methodologies. You have to use the type of software that's relevant to a program of this complexity and this scope, so that the higher level decision makers can immediately see and measure and track performance, implementation, and execution of the plan. The skill that is needed here is knowledge management, how you manage information. Because we are living in the information age, we are dealing with knowledge workers, persons who manage knowledge or manage information. Now, having said that, let's look at the executive summary. We know that it has certain elements. It has a vision, mission, it has priorities, risks, system enabling conditions, who are the beneficiaries, the context, the cost, education sector, and initiatives. You might want to look at the mission. The mission is to eliminate illiteracy, modernize education, strengthen tolerance. You note that these terms are aspirational levels. They are not quantified in the education executive summary. It identifies the priorities, decrease differences in learning outcomes for all students by, well, decrease completely, but this is a measurable priority by a certain percent. We are midway through the program, the Guyana Education Sector Plan. We are midway through that plan based upon the timeline, and we have not yet achieved 50% of implementation of most of the initiatives. Another priority is to increase learning outcomes for all completely, but by percentages can be tracked. This talks about the differences in learning outcomes between the hinterland and the coastal areas, those two priorities. So let's go back to the executive summary. There are certain enabling conditions according to the architects of the plan that will contribute to the achievement of the objectives. These are an accountability system, capacities of the implementing units, and limited autonomy for schools. These 3 conditions will contribute to the achievement of the objectives. And the cause and contact, we'll come back to these later. Initiatives. Well, under the plan, you have 6 major initiatives or outcomes, intermediate outcomes. implementing department's capacity improved by a certain percentage, and accountability system functioning, quality of school facilities improved, quality of teaching improved, quality of the curriculum improved by, instructional times increased by. You note that I included a metric in each one of these initiatives. This is very important for monitoring and evaluation. It's very difficult from reading that 99-page document, the education sector plan. It's very difficult to discern immediately or easily what percentage of each initiative has been accomplished. It's very, very difficult. But with this type of dynamic, interactive software, a high-level decision maker, the minister of the Ministry of Education, or the chief executive officer, or the permanent secretary, can immediately look and say, well, listen, under this initiative we have achieved so much percentage completion. Accountability system is functioning by, say, 45%, or quality of school facilities improved by 35% or 50% or 60% at one glance. We have created this interaction for the commissioners so that they have a quick overview and will be able to discuss meaningfully the education sector plan with a reference to these components. In the next video, we look at part 1, 2, and so on. Lead departments. This is just an illustration of some of the lead departments, that is, the people who will be responsible for implementing the plan. They're not entered in any, they're entered in alphabetical order: ACO, ACO, external organization, and so on. So in the next video, we look at part 1 and the other major components.